Welcome to video number 12 for Physics 102. This video is on the concept of power. What is power in the physics definition of the word? To quote your textbook, in many situations, the time it takes to do work is just as important as the amount of work that is done. So power is a measure of how long it takes to do some work. Mathematically, the average power is the amount of work done divided by the time it took to do that work. Since work is a change in energy, either kinetic or potential in the case of a conservative force, power can also be thought of as a change in energy per unit time. What about power and forces? Well, we know that work is defined as the force parallel to the displacement times the displacement itself. We normally write this FD cosine theta. But here I'm going to write it F parallel times D. Substituting this into our expression for power, and assuming that the force is constant, we get that the average power is the force parallel to the displacement times the displacement over the time. We have force times a distance over a time. We know what a distance over a time is. It's a velocity. So the average power for a constant force is the force parallel to the displacement times the average velocity. What about the units of power? Well, power is work over time, so joules over seconds. This has a special name. It's called the watt, which we indicate with the big capital W. You may be familiar with one of the imperial units of power, the horsepower. 1 horsepower is equal to 745.7 watts. This unit comes from the amount of power that a horse can produce, where the word horsepower comes from. In summary, what do I think is important for you to understand about power? I think it's important for you to understand what power is. It's the amount of work done per unit time, or the change in energy per unit time. Power is not equivalent to energy or work. I think it's important that you understand this distinction.